Hello, my name is Samuel, and this is my presentation, The Truth We Hold the Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was born on October 20, 1964 in the United States in the state of California. His parents were Donna Harris, an Jamaican economist, and Shyamala Bhupalan, an Indian American biomedical scientist. She is the first woman and the first African American and Indian person to hold the vice presidency and the highest ranking elected officer in United States history. She won the 2016 Senate election, becoming the second African American woman and the first of Indian descent to serve in the United States Senate. Table of contents. 1. Summary of the biographical book. 2. Main topic, the central theme of which my presentation is based. 3. Quotes, presentation and analysis of the quotes. Conclusion, an analysis of the migration issue and conclusion. And 5. Finally, bibliography. Summary. The Truth We Hold is a book in which Kamala Harris blends personal memory with political analysis to explain how her family, education, and career shaped her commitment to social justice. Harris described her childhood in Oakland as the daughter of two immigrants, her mother Shaimala Upalan, and Sayansi from India, whose discipline and strong sense of justice deeply influenced her, and her father, Donald Harris, an economist from Jamaica. Raised in an environment surrounded by the civil rights movement, Harris learned early the importance of racial equality, dignity, and community responsibility. During her years at Howard University, a historical black institution, she strengthened her identity, leadership skill, and political awareness. After graduating from law school, she decided to become a prosecutor, convinced that it was necessary to change the justice system from within. As District Attorney of San Francisco and later Attorney General of California, she promoted a progressive, smarter crime approach that combined accountability with rehabilitation programs against domestic violence, protection of minors, and policy reform. A central theme of the book is her denunciation of injustice such as systematic racism, mass in- incarceration, the criminalization of poverty, and discrimination against immigrants. Harris recounts painful cases of deportation, detention, family separation at the border, and attack of programs like DACA, arguing that these policies dehumanize and traumatize vulnerable communities. As a senator, she publicly confronted federal officials for this action and worked on issues related to immigration, civil rights, healthcare, and economic equity. The book concludes with a call to a stronger democracy through civic participation, empathy, and collective responsibility. Harris argues that the United States can only live up to its foundational values if it ensures justice and dignity for all people, especially those who, who have historically been marginalized. Main topic. Deportation have severe and lasting effects on the physical and mental health of immigrants and their families as shown by recent research and by Kamala Harris in the Through We Hope. Studies from community psychology showed that in 2017, over 314,000 people were deported, mainly longtime residents and parents of the 5.9 million US citizen children who depend on the undocumented caregivers. This forced separation creates post-traumatic stress, anxiety, depression, and persistent fear. Will children experience sleep problems, emotional regression, withdrawal, and deep sadness months after parents' deportation? Pinedo and Valdez further demonstrated that deportation harms even USA citizens, especially Latinos, who report higher levels of anxiety and psychological distress when they know someone who has been detained or deported, proving that deportation produces community-wide trauma. The Cielo Peru article as the concept of deportability, the chronic fear of possibly being expelled, which leads to toxic stress, isolation, and abundance of medical or education service. This fitting alien with Harvey's description of immigrant mothers separated from their children told their apparent in court alone and apparent experiencing overwhelming grief, including a Honduran father who took his own life after losing family. Together, these sources show that deportation is not merely a policy action, but a mechanism that causes profound trauma, destroys family, and creates a climate of fear and dehumanization in migrant communities. Quotes. Need for protection. My mother was the strongest person I have ever known, but I always felt protective of her too. This Kamala thought about how she feels the need to protect her mother because of the systemic racism that exists in the United States. This need appears when Kamala was a child and a situation that no minors should have to experience. Anxiety and custom due to being an immigrant. From traveling abroad, my mother made sure Maya and I were on our best behavior as when went through custom. Stand home straight, don't loud, don't feel it. The second case is similar situation, but this time it is a Kamala mother who, when going through customs, experienced anxiety due to fear that any mistake could lead to forced separation because she is immigrant. Later over the years, Kamala will continue to feel anxiety when going through custom, unlike her husband who does no show anxiety because he's native. 3. Trauma caused by forced separation. The Dr. Kraft wrote about the extraordinary stress and trauma of family separation. As, as the quote states, Dr. Pratt says that family separation causes stress and trauma that harm our family members, both parents and children. Deportation as cause of suicide. After a man from Honduras was separated from his wife after his 3 years old son was ripped from his arm after he was placed in an isolation cell, the trauma led him to take his own life. This is a sad case that expresses level of anxiety and depression that the family separation due to deportation can cause even leading to a person death. This deserve critical analysis as it demonstrates the level of depression that the forced separation can create. In addition, the family is left devastated, and the child will grow up without a father, creating an even greater emotional problem in the child of life. The interruption to a daily life. Advocates working with families told us how children were afraid to go to school, not knowing if their parents will still be there when they go home. Uh, this is another example how, of how deportation dis, 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 disrupts the daily life of family, and how children are among the most affected. Mass hysteria and Latinx immigrants were citizens, legal residents, or undocumented experienced the fear of deportation and the same rates. The last quote, how deportation cause hysteria in a border Latino community in United States, whether among undocumented immigrant or legal residents. it, it's demonstrates that these measures are aggressive and and cause emotional health problems in alarming way. And conclusion. Kamala Harris tells us about her life and how she has experienced the degrading treatment of immigrants. This situation of degradation creates a state of inequality, abuse, and rejection that leads to despair. They cause anxiety and depression that greatly affect their daily life. In addition, they cause trauma in mothers who are separated from their children and children themselves, hindering their development at a crucial stage in every person's life. It is therefore the result of abusive management that perpetuates poor emotional health and well-being in every individual. Furthermore, government agents such as ICE commit atrocities wi- wi- without caring about the consequence. They may cause they do not see or empathy with this community that find themselves in situations of austerity, disorientation, and distress. Deportation generates fear, anxiety, and trauma for anyone tormenting a society that is increasingly deprived of its rights, with a government that promotes measures that repeal laws protecting immigrants, is allow abuse of power, racism, xenophobia, and social persecution. Consequently, it produces a stage of social regression that drives the destruction of a society and, in turn, a country by generation social hysteria marked by a lack of empathy and loss of values. Bibliography. This is the bibliography reference, and thank you for your attention.